City of Bedford Common Council, Stonegate Arts and Education Center, 931 15th Street, Tuesday, July the 15th at 7 p.m. Ryan, would you please lead us in prayer?
Bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for giving us the opportunity tonight to meet as a council to look over the city's business affairs and other things that we are blessed with and have the opportunity to help the citizens with, and that we will make the right decisions to continue the growth and betterment of the city of Bedford. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Brad, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Calling our meeting to order, we have approval of the minutes from June 17th, which was a regular meeting. The council wishes to review. If there's any discussion, and if not, when appropriate, I would entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the minutes as presented, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. Moving on to new business, request approval of using restricted opioid funds for Lawrence County Growth Council. Joe?
Can you hear me okay? Okay. All right. Joe Timbrook, Director of Career Development for the Lawrence County Economic Growth Council. I'm here tonight because it's not June, it's July, and when you approved $25,000 earlier in the year of the restricted opioid funds, we were asked to come back and ask for the other 25. Miscommunication with us and for us and not being here in June, so I'm here in July to do that very thing. I did have a couple of handouts. There's there's a one-pager, and then there's a PowerPoint presentation. I'm not going to go through the PowerPoint presentation. I'll explain what that is in just a second, but I want to highlight some things from the one-pager. When I thought about how to start out, a bunch of different things came to mind, with some newer folks being on the city council to a certain degree, and actually our ILJAS program is now starting its fifth year. And so I thought I better just a tiny bit of history and reminder that we started in the summer of COVID, which was quite a challenge at out of the Career Center, and we modeled it after a program at Crane, and most people don't know that, but if you don't, Vic Maximenko and Jamie Blackwell, who used to work at Crane, they had a training program out there that we went out and took a look at, and it was a model, actually, not the same thing, they do different things at Crane than we do, but it was a training model for their employees. Then what we discovered as we started pursuing this group of folks back in 2018, the lack of adult education in Lawrence County. There had Work One had been trying to do classes out at the Career Center. Not enough people would sign up. They'd have to cancel them. We went 6 years without having an adult education class in Lawrence County. And so once we saw that gap, we realized that we needed to take a look at what the system looked like why could that happen? And so that's why we went and took a look at the Crane prototype. We didn't really have a funnel to get people into those classes. We had a newspaper, well, we still do, but we had a bigger newspaper at that time, and still advertising, and even when working with Work One, we could not fill the classes that we traditionally used to have at the Career Center. So the justice system, Judge Klein, Prosecutor Arp, and others stepped up and said, well, let's try this. And so we put together that Introduction to Local Jobs and Skills class, came up with the things that we do, the three main things that we do at the 3-week class, which is machining, welding, and construction. And then a lot of other things in conjunction with that, as far as soft skills and resources and employability skills. And what they committed to do was to get the funnel started. If someone came to probation and didn't have a job, part of their plea agreement would be they would go to the Introduction to Local Jobs and Skills class. So there started our funnel for people. Started off quick. People liked it because they got time off probation from that plea agreement, and we actually paid them $250 from our grant funds at the end of the class. Coolest thing about that, most of them turned around and used it towards their fees in probation, so it was a win all the way around. But a lot of things have happened since then. Now it's about a 70-30 split, justice involved and 30% community. So we've gotten to the point where we integrate community members into the class as well, and they perform well. We also we work with recovery organizations. We work with they get their CPR, first aid, stop the bleed certifications. So every participant that has graduated from Introduction to Local Jobs and Skills comes away with those American Red Cross certifications for free. It costs you about $150 to $200 somewhere else if you went to take a class and do it. And I was Googling today, and most classes that are advertised have waiting lists. So that certainly is fulfilling a need. You can see some other thing, how many graduates, 9% recidivism rate, helps keep people from going back to jail. Also, for a lot of reasons, we won't take credit for this, but for a lot of reasons, the jail population continues to remain low. I think it was in the 80s today, though. That's the first time in some months that it's been that high. Usually it's around 70, 68, 70, 72, that kind of thing, including DOC holds. And then still mostly male, about 70% attend the class, but anybody can. We need them to be 18. We've had a 90% completion rate through our 20 cohorts that we've done. And so far for last year, we had 65 graduates. Every graduate, one of the questions would be, did everybody get a job? That's not a guarantee necessarily, but everybody has a next step. And sometimes it's a job, sometimes it's something else that they need, getting their HSE, sometimes it's just getting another skill, that kind of thing. And so, but they have to have a plan at the end at graduation of what their next steps are. And Kathy Bullington, who is our adult education coordinator, and I work with them one-on-one on steps, on those steps. And they're not shy about following up with us if they have questions and using us as a resource. Between Kathy and I, we've talked to 4 former participants just today regarding questions or resources that they need. One we got hooked up with a dad's class at the Hope Resource Center. And so those are the kind of things that we talk about one-on-one with people, the participants of the class. We've got we took a little bit off in the summer. One is the Career Center is going under renovations, so it makes it harder for us to have class out there when they're undergoing renovations. And we kick back in August the 11th with our 21st cohort. That class has 18 people. Is it still 18? 18 people signed up, and we usually can take about 12. So we have a waiting list for that class as well. And we plan on having 4 of those cohorts over the next year. And we use the state year from July to the end of June, because that's who our contractor, that's how they do their money and that kind of thing. So we have to work off of their calendar. We also worked with our provider, Wagler Education, out of Lyons, Indiana, the best adult education provider in the state, named that by the state, and she redid some stuff for us, and now we've added electrical to the construction class, so they'll come out with electrical certificates besides the NCCER certification, and then they'll also come out with a welding certification as well. So, and then we did one in January. We did our first introduction to local jobs and skills health sciences with Vincennes University. We bit off more than we could chew when it came to how we structured it. So we were working with Ivy Tech on restructuring it and making it more possible for the people to graduate to have that next step. We kind of went wide when we should have stayed narrow, and so we're in the middle of doing that right now. There's let's see. Just so many, over 40 organizations we work with during an ILJAS class, whether it's employers, resource organizations like Families Forever, Regenerations in Mitchell, helps out with, they bought one of our participants a tire because he was having a hard time keeping air out to get to class. So just having those relationships with all organizations throughout Lawrence County. There a couple of things have happened recently. Our work has been noticed by regional, state, and now national organizations. What this is the PowerPoint I used 2 weeks ago when I spoke about the Introduction to Local Jobs and Skills class before 600 people at the Federal Reserve Policy Conference. And so it was great to be able to tell our story from Lawrence County, Indiana, and what we're doing and how the justice system works with us. Most of them are so jealous that we have that kind of relationship within that justice system, and so we're very grateful for that. Also, wanted to mention that we continue with getmyhsc.org, still number one per capita in the state. That just flows, and it's not part of ILJAS, but it's before ILJAS or during it. Kathy just restarted SOAR Plus, our literacy program, and that we're excited about the participation in that. The numbers of volunteers and participants are already growing, and we also have, working with Wagler, we have the next step after ILJAS is that full-on certification class paid for by the state from Next Level Jobs. So it's free, and so they have waiting lists already for those classes. So one of the things with ILJAS is to really enable us to bring resources into our community we would never have been able to do before. And we weren't getting our share. I kind of always say, you got to make yourself known out there, and you got to determine your own future. And I think that's what we've been able to do from a workforce development standpoint. We also now have been asked to speak at a conference in September, October, and November regarding ILJAS. One in St. Louis, one in Madison, and one in, hold on, and one other one out of state. So we're out there sharing our message with what's happening, and it's a message that changes over time. As we continue to work with people and see the barriers and see the needs, and the funding request, for the $25,000 is from the restricted part of the opioid funds, not the general part, but really it enables us to do all these things, including some administrative work, but training materials, we use Career Center teachers. Man, they're good. If you're not proud of our Career Center here in Lawrence County, you should be. Amy Redmond and her crew out there are doing absolutely amazing work. And also any materials that we need or anything that comes up that just we need to have funds to be able to do some flexible funds. We do have some grant dollars that are already dedicated to ILJAS, but a lot of some of those funds have very specific things tied to them, as grants typically do, and so the 25,000 that we're requesting from you this evening will give us a little more flexibility into some of the things that we can do when we see the needs happen, that we see happen out there every time we have class. So I think that's all I have. If you want to see lots of pictures, I will tell you when we spoke at Cleveland and at French Lick at the rural conference, we had some of our participants do selfies and played those for the crowd. The best stories ever. I mean, just the best stories ever. Went over real well, and you'll see some of that in that PowerPoint and a lot more detail as well. Not many pictures on this thing, I know, but we wanted to give you some information on really the difference that the work is making in the community. So that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Joe.
Yep.
Appreciate it. All right, so we have, as the council knows,
Just a couple questions for Joe. You say this is the 21st class? That's right. This is, you said this is the 21st class?
This will be starting August the 11th.
And how long does that class usually run?
The class is a 3-week class.
3 weeks?
Runs Monday through Tuesday. We've done it a few different ways. We've tried differently. Runs Monday through Thursday, 4 to 8, out at the Career Center.
excuse me, Joe, since we're live on Facebook, if you could please be at the podium so people can hear you, we'd appreciate it.
I appreciate you, 'cause I could hear you better.
I'm not the best rule follower ever. Monday through Thursday, 4 to 8, for 3 weeks. And then 1 week of machining, 1 week of welding, 1 week of construction, and then all the other assorted things that we throw in there with employer visits and the hospitals come in. For the first time, we may have IU Health do, or SICHC on Lincoln Avenue, do HIV testing and STD testing and those kind of things as well. Anything that will be useful for us and that we can help be a resource to folks. And so that runs for 3 weeks and then immediately kicks into that Wagler class that I was talking about. And those run 6 to 8 weeks, again free, and through Next Level Jobs. And so everything that we're talking about, there's no cost to a participant for
Is
here in
there,
Lawrence County.
When is the 21st class scheduled to start?
I'm sorry, Dan.
When do you plan to start the next class?
What's the start date for the
next
21st?
August the 11th.
August 11th.
August the 11th, graduate on the August 28th. We do have a graduation. Judge Klein, Prosecutor Sam come and talk. They're great with the participants, even though they're not all justice involved, but they come and talk to the participants. They get their certificates, they get plaques, and it's the first time some of them have felt successful in a long time or ever, and we see that. And so, and then the Wagler classes kick in for 6 to 8 weeks, and then we run another ILJAS class, so that funnel just keeps going and keeps going. And Michelle at Wagler is continuing to look at the menu of classes with Next Level Jobs to see what else we can add to, and what we have the space for to do. We utilize Stonegate for trainings if we need to. And Linda is amazing at being a resource for us when we need it, and so we've got the year pretty much planned out, and the funds we're requesting will really help us make sure that year flows very, very smoothly.
But as of today, you have the funding to get you through that class. This money would provide you flexibility.
We have the funding right now. We can do the August class.
Okay.
And then there's some left. We lost our marketing / grant person 2 weeks ago, so that's me too now. And we've got enough. We may be able to get that second ILJAS class in this fall, but then we would start to run low on funds. Everything, I'm funded by grants, Kathy's funded by grants, and everything we do is funded by grants. And so not only do we have to be doing the work, we've got to be pounding the pavement. And as most of you probably know, it is getting more and more difficult to find any available funds out there. They look like they might be there one day, and then the next day they're gone, you know. And so, but we will continue to do that. So,
Are you guys starting to see any of the grants dry up? I know that a lot of the federal grants and things are getting harder and harder to get a hold of.
can you interpret for me, Heath?
Are you starting to see grants dry up? 'Cause
We've been really, we have a good history. And so we've been really lucky with all of our, we had one grant that was pulled from the Indiana Department of Health when they did the big 400 million or whatever it was pull. And that's what funded the first cohort of the Introduction to Local Jobs and Skills Health Sciences class. And so we out of the 150,000 they gave us, we didn't have to give it all back because we had spent a lot of it, and did what we needed to do to give as little back to them as we could. But we do have replacement funds for that now, and so that's why we are working with Ivy Tech on doing, trying a second cohort that'll look a lot different than that first cohort did.
Thank you.
Okay. Does the board have any other?
Joe, when do we, I mean, I love your program, because, I mean, I'm on the community correction board with you, so I know what you do, so it is a good program. Do we see how soon we're going to hire a new director for the Growth Council?
I'm going to turn that over to Shauna. Shauna is on our executive board, and so I think that's more of an executive board question, if that's okay, Mayor.
Yeah, sure, that's
Okay.
fine.
So the executive committee has met a few times. Of course, Mayor Craig is on that committee, and are going through a formal selection process. The job was posted, I'm sorry, I don't remember the exact date. It's been almost 3.5 or so weeks ago. We had several applicants, weeded through those. We're in the process of doing interviews currently. We are hopeful, cross our fingers, hopeful that by August 1st we'll have a candidate named. That's a little, it is, you know, if all goes well. So anyway, so we are doing interviews this week. So hopefully you'll hear something soon, sooner rather than later.
Thank you.
Billy, when Joe originally came to us, we split this up due to the fact that we had not received our 2025 allocation from money yet. It is my understanding we still have not received that. We have still not received money from the state or
Right.
the federal government regarding this.
Right, we haven't received any money this year so far.
So we're in the same situation money-wise as we were when the previous request was here.
Yes.
So I guess the next question was, what is our balance in restricted opioid funds at this time?
In restricted, it's $44,433.
Okay, all right. And as we've discussed, we don't know exactly when we will get our next deposit
No.
at this point in time.
No.
But this is restricted funds. Okay, does the board have any other questions or anything for discussion? Okay, I would entertain a motion if there is a motion.
I'd like to make a motion that we maybe table this until a new director has been established, and then come back and revisit this. Just because we're low on our opiate funds and something else may come up. I know we said we would do that, but I'd just like to see the director and what his idea is from here on out. If it changes or if it's on the same program. That's my opinion, my motion.
Okay, so we have a motion to table it. Is there a second? no second, then that motion will die.
So, I know you said you're hopeful August 1st. I mean, the next meeting is August
Yeah, I can't pull the date out of my.
maybe approximately 15th, 16th, 17th,
Yeah.
somewhere in there. I mean, if we reconvene and do this next month, are we comfortable that? I mean, I don't know if anyone else has a thought on that or not, but I mean, I feel like we all want to do this, but I kind of understand Larry's, wanting to see what the new director says and all that and give some stability. I mean, again, if it's not a major deal, I have no problem tabling it myself and be willing to second that unless there's.
Well, at this point in time, the motion to table it died for lack of a second motion. So
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a new motion that we table this until the next meeting in August.
Which is
So our
August
next-
19th.
Next city council meeting in August.
okay.
And I'd second that.
So the new motion is to table it till our next meeting next month. Have a first and a second. All those in favor signify by aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Okay. Thank you. Compliance with Statement of Benefits, CF1 tax abatement for W.F. Myers, Resolution 18-2024. Mr. Barnes, welcome. If there's anything that you would like to address, reference your tax abatement, how things are going, or any information you'd like to give us, or if not, we can just go to see if there's any questions.
I'll give you a high level of how it's going. One of the reasons we made this investment was to try to expand our business, expand what we're doing. We've got a couple, I'd call them leads, nothing concrete yet. We're exploring doing some tooling for Jasper engines, and I have a meeting tomorrow in Texas to talk about providing diamond segments to a saw manufacturer down there.
All right.
And all of that's as a result of this equipment.
Okay. Thank you. Does the council have any questions or anything for discussion?
In your statement of benefits sheets, you list the estimated salaries, and the SB1 is 25.25 an hour, and you're showing the actual is 24.47 per hour. Any idea the timeline of when that might go to where you projected?
A timeline, yes, but can I explain why that's happened?
Sure.
Okay.
That's what I was looking for
Yeah,
anyway.
fair enough. So we have a union shop. These are production employee salaries that are governed by our collective bargaining agreement.
Sure.
And we had a senior employee leave unexpectedly in March. And that person was at the top of the wage scale and was replaced by a new employee who came in at the bottom of the wage scale.
Makes perfect sense. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else for discussion? If not, I would just entertain a motion to approve.
Make a motion, we approve W.F. Myers SB1 for 2025.
Second that.
All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you.
All right, thank you all.
Compliance with Statement of Benefits, CF1 tax abatement for Evergreen Drive LLC, Resolution 17-2024. Lane or Miles? Okay.
Lane?
No one wants to hear me talk. Well, I want to say how much we appreciate the tax abatement for the new build at Evergreen Drive. It was extremely important for us and our business moving forward. I'm not sure if all of you know, but my dad owned the building we were in before and actually sold that earlier this year, which was great for him. He was ready to divest that property. We were, because we knew that was happening, we obviously were able to secure the Evergreen Drive location. thanks to you all, we were able to receive the tax abatement, began construction August 15th of '24. The project went tremendously. We were able to complete that project in 8 months, pretty much on schedule. There's a couple things left to do, just with some grading and drainage issues that we have. And then we can finish up our landscaping when that's done, but the project is at significant completion. The new office is fantastic. The city of Bedford has been amazing to work with, such a incredibly development and business-friendly community, so I can't thank you all enough for that. It's an incredible feeling to have that kind of support when you're doing a project like this. Brandon, appreciate the time that you and I spent together in the planning process, so very pleased with the way the project's gone and appreciate all the support from the city and the city council.
Okay. Council have anything for discussion?
Just a quick question, Miles, on the employees retained. Did you guys have somebody leave?
We did.
Actively
We
seeking to
actually,
fill it?
we had a fairly long-term employee who left for personal reasons. Fortunately, one of the positions we were trying to hire for, we did hire into. So we had a long-term employee leave. That position is now still open. One of the positions we were hiring for, we did hire, and so we actually maintain the same level of employees, but
Okay. You plan to hire that additional person, or are you going to stay with the current employment?
we plan to hire the additional. I have to say the labor market is extremely tight, and that could be a long process. Our business has become increasingly complicated, and what we found is there's fewer and fewer people coming into our business, and the people who are, it's a very intensive training regimen, as you can imagine, and we see a lot of people who come and go from the industry. But to answer your question, yes.
So if a qualified individual showed up, you'd be interested in doing that?
Absolutely. It
Very
used to be that we could hire and train, and that's still possibly the case if you find the right person, but it's become a business where if you can find someone who has some season to them.
They're already working somewhere else.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, but yes, if we were able to find the right person, we're definitely looking to fill that position.
Any other discussion or comments? I would entertain a motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Compliance with Statement of Benefits CF1 Tax Abatement for CAP Group, Resolution 3-2024. Doug?
Hello, everyone. I'll give you a little synopsis of where we're at right now with this. This is for the 190,000 square foot warehouse facility there that's on 5th Street. We've pretty well completed it. It's completely rented at this point, occupied. We have about, CAP Group has about 27 to, depending on the day, because we had to float people back and forth between their other operations and that operation. So anywhere from 27 to 30 people over there. Then the other government contractor that you guys are sure aware of, that's where Chance had called me. We had plans to put some more manufacturing in that facility originally and overbuilt because of that, an extra 50,000 square feet that we didn't need. And so as things would, good Lord, worked it out, I guess. But anyway, Chance called me and said that, hey, I've got the company that, I just don't want to use their name right now. But anyway, they were looking to go to Bloomington and facility up there. I think their offices are up there. So anyway, we were able to talk them, and then we actually went back in and built specifically for their needs inside that 50,000 square feet, which is the closest portion to the road, to the 5th Street. And so their employee, I kind of asked, and their numbers fluctuate in that building because they have other facilities. So right now, I think around a dozen would be close. I don't know their wages and stuff, but, it's one of those things that's a little bit sensitive to how much can you ask and on that. But anyway, we feel like the facility is taken off well. It's been well received. We're getting ready to apply for another 64,000 square foot warehouse that'll be in behind that one that you can't see from the road, and we're in the process of that, and then that'll completely, I never say completely, but it should fill up that property pretty much, and maybe we'll be looking for more property. I don't know. We'll just see what's ahead. But we just take it a step at a time and trying to meet the customers' demands, which is, our customers, so they're demanding, to say the least. So anyway, that's kind of where the project is. It's pretty much complete. We've tried to landscape the front, make it more attractive on 5th Street there, so always working on that. So.
You've done an excellent job on that also.
Yeah, well,
You've
Spice
dressed-
Valley did a lot of that, so they did an excellent job. Doug didn't, but yeah. The neighbors like it because of the water fountains and the lights and all that at night. So they went from being not so happy to really happy, and now they asked me to turn it on for later hours. I used to go off at 9 o'clock. Now they want it to go, the pumps not to go off till 11 or so. But anyway, it's been a good thing for the area, I think.
It has been. You've done an excellent job up there. Any other questions or comments?
Doug, just on the additional employees.
Yeah.
There's about a 14 job difference there. Is a lot of that, is it because of need, or are you finding the qualified people that you need?
Loaded question. Yes and no. Some of it is like when we first applied, we thought we were going to put manufacturing. We do some manufacturing in it, don't get me wrong, but we had a specific contract that we were bidding at the time, and we did not get that. Probably a good thing because the contract's not been real great. But anyway, that was why the number was 50. In TriStar, we're probably going to be a little short of that. I don't know that we'll ever hit 50 in that building. And like I said, it's hard to measure them because we do a lot of processing in there for parts, for automotive parts in there. And it's like this week we started a new process in there that added there's 3 people per shift, so 9 people. So it jumps around. They say that's temporary,
Sure.
but it may go on for more. So I don't really count those 9 people yet.
Yeah, if it's not what you thought it was going to be when you built it, then that explains it.
Yeah. Anything else?
Thank you.
Yep.
I would entertain a motion.
So moved, Mr. Mayor. Second.
All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you, Doug.
Thanks.
Ordinance 13-2025, amending the zoning map, Victoria Baker of Apple Baker Studios, 512 P Street, from R3 to PR. Kevin?
This is a request from Victoria Baker, Apple Baker Studios, to rezone property at 512P. It was formerly the Warren Jones Memorial Church, more commonly probably known to us as the original Girls Club, I believe. Victoria would like to open an art studio over there at that location and holding classes in painting, pottery, sketching, etc. The property is currently zoned R3, and the request is for the property to become PR to allow her to open the studio. On June 8th of 2025, a preliminary hearing was held with the Planning Commission for the request, and the request was approved and moved to a public hearing. Prior to the public hearing, public notices were sent out to the adjoining property owners and advertised on or with local media. On July 8th of 2025, a public hearing was held with the Planning Commission for this request. The commission heard from 2 residents of the neighborhood. One of the residents did not have any issues with the property being rezoned to PR. She was more concerned that it would be rezoned to classified for business, and when she realized she was advised that that was not on the table. And we understand her concern is that if the business was rezoned, or if the property was rezoned to business, and later Victoria would sell the building, she was more concerned about what might be able to come in after that. Specifically a bar or tavern. The other resident was concerned that the rezoning to the property might affect the property taxes in that area to the negative side. And she actually did not want the property changed at all. After discussing the request, the Planning Commission approved the request to rezone the property on a vote of 6-1 and moved the matter to the City Council for final approval. I ask now that the council approve the rezoning of 512 P Street and the associated parking lots. There's 2 parcels there, from R3 to PR. And as you can see, Vicky's here tonight if anybody has any questions of her.
Okay, thank you. Does the council have anything for discussion, questions? If none, when appropriate, I would entertain a motion.
Motion to approve, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion by Dan, second by Larry. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? I would entertain a motion for a second passage.
I'll make a motion for the second passage of ordinance 13-2025.
Second.
All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, we will take the third and final passage to our next regular meeting then for approval. Thank you. All right, ordinance 14-2025, amending chapter 76, speed limit John Williams Boulevard and Beach Street roundabout, change for east and west traffic travel on John Williams Boulevard. Chief?
Thank you. With the near completion of the roundabout at John Williams Boulevard and Beach Street, the roundabout was engineered as a 15-mile-an-hour roundabout. After looking at that, I believe it's appropriate to reduce the speed limits on John Williams Boulevard from Lincoln Avenue to Beach Street from 40 miles an hour to 30 miles an hour. The speed limit would be reduced to 15 miles an hour at Beach Street. If you've driven through there, they've already got those signs posted, 15 miles an hour. That's through the contractor and the engineering. As the traffic approaches Beach Street roundabout, there would be new signs indicating reduced speed ahead. From the Beach Street roundabout to State Road 37, the amended speed limit would be reduced from 40 miles an hour to 30 miles an hour. These speed limits would change for east and westbound traffic traveling on John Williams Boulevard. With the increasing number of new businesses and traffic on John Williams Boulevard, I believe reducing the speed limits will help reduce traffic accidents and the severity of injuries resulting from those accidents. So you have a copy of Ordinance 14-2025, amending the current Chapter 76 traffic schedule. If you look down through there, we've got it listed out. Street, John Williams Boulevard, the description would be westbound from Lincoln Avenue to Beach Street. New speed limit would be 30 miles an hour. John Williams Boulevard eastbound from Beach Street to O Street would be 30 miles an hour. The Beach Street roundabout would be 15 miles an hour. John Williams Boulevard westbound from Beach Street to the roundabout at State Road 37, 30 miles an hour, and John Williams Boulevard eastbound from State Road 37 to the Beach Street roundabout would be 30 miles an hour. I'm here requesting this approval so that we can enforce this at the appropriate time.
I'm assuming the roundabout there at Lincoln and John Williams, that's already 15 miles per hour, correct?
It's 20.
It's 20.
It was engineered as a 20 mile an hour, and part of that, I believe, is because that's a drivable curb.
Okay.
So we addressed a lot of this back when that roundabout happened, so we had to make this ordinance sort of address the additional parts of John Williams Boulevard that hadn't been addressed.
Makes sense.
Now, we've had 2 fatalities along that stretch of road, haven't we? Between Beach Street and Lincoln.
We've had a couple bad accidents at R and O, and like I said, with the new restaurants we have out there, the Dollar General, we have a new rehab facility that's going in. There's still some property for sale out there. I think that this is the right thing to do. 16th Street's 30 miles an hour, parts of Mitchell Road's 30 miles an hour. This road, in my opinion, is not any different than 16th Street and 30 mile an hour on 16th Street.
How soon will that roundabout be completed, Chief?
We talked about that at the Board of Works. If weather cooperates, after speaking with the street commissioner, if all goes well, we're hoping within 2 months. But that's going to depend on the weather. So, if we get first and second passage tonight, the third passage in August, then we have to run it for 2 weeks, notifying the public, and then we can't enforce it for another 2 weeks, I believe is correct. So we're like 3 months out before we could be enforcing these speed limits.
So it should time out.
Yeah, so that's why I'm here now, because the timing, I think, is going to work out about right.
Are you happy with just 2 passages tonight, Chief?
Yeah, we're fine. Yeah, because in that construction area, it's already been reduced down to 30 miles an hour, and that's worked well. We have our radar sign out there for the westbound traffic, getting people to slow down, so that's worked out. It's just there's going to be, if we don't do this, there will be small sections of John Williams Boulevard, maybe a couple hundred yards, where it's 40 miles an hour on each side of that roundabout, and it just doesn't make any sense to do that. You get up to 40, and all of a sudden you're slowing down to 15 for the roundabout, and you get back up to 40, and then you're getting towards Lincoln Avenue, and you're going to 30 that we addressed before, down to 20 for the roundabout. So I think it's just too choppy to do that. Let's just make it all 30, get the traffic to slow down, and hopefully cut down on any of the serious accidents that we've had in the past couple of years on John Williams Boulevard, particularly there at R&O Street.
Mr. Mayor, I agree with the Chief, and I would move for the first passage of ordinance 14-2025.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? I would entertain a motion for a second passage.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
So we're down to discussion. Does the board have anything for discussion?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I want to remind the public that between now and our next council meeting, schools will open. Please be careful. Watch for the school buses. And I want to thank the state for placing the flashing lights on 16th Street, which we've needed for many years now, to indicate that we do have a school zone from N Street all the way to Spider Creek. And I want to thank the state again. It's long overdue that we had those flashing lights out there.
Thank you, Brad. I mentioned it at the Board of Works meeting also, reference to the council, and we discussed I was going to bring the appraisal paperwork for the water that we had discussed to the Board of Works this evening. I'd contacted 2 engineering firms. They've been requesting information from the Utilities Department. Some of that information is still being generated and giving to them. So by doing our due diligence, we want to make sure that everything is in place before we proceed. So I anticipate there should not be any issues that next month at the Board of Works meeting, everything should be ready at that point in time for us to move forward to see about ordering the appraisals to be done and then going from there. So just wanted to update everybody on that status. So at that time, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We stand adjourned.